ATS, we are back week two NFL with my boy Colm here. So we'll get straight to it. We got absolutely beat last week. But we liked most of the games and we feel like I'm gonna read you some stuff here, but we feel like we were on the right side of a lot of things. We'll start with the Jets. They got beat down. That 49ers team is just ridiculous. And they just keep proving year in and year out. They're the team in the NFC.
Yeah.
So move on from that one. That was a straight up L. McConkey over 39 and a half receiving yards. He got 39. 39. So losing by a half there is tough, but we'll take that and move on. Atlanta -3. Kirk did not look like the Kirk that we've seen in the past with at 1 o'clock with the Vikings. That TJ Watt, not TJ, what's his name?
J-
The other
I
brother.
almost said
J,
I
yeah,
almost said JJ.
yeah.
Yeah, you were right the first time.
Oh, it was okay. Watt is an absolute freak, and I think he was literally the difference in that game.
Dude.
Like
Ho,
it was ridiculous.
ho.
So took an L there. The Giants +1.5. Daniel Jones is awful. And Sam Darnold is Tom Brady, I guess. I didn't know when that happened, but kudos to him, man. He went to San Francisco last year, learned a ton from Shanahan, I think, and he's a dude. I love it. So then we'll get into the losses that we think we were on the right side, and I still at this time I don't know how these teams didn't cover. Tennessee +4.
Oh,
The Chicago Bears won 24-17 without scoring an offensive touchdown. Block punt touchdown, a flick pick six from Will Levis. Never seen anything like it in my life. And let me read this to you. Underdogs of 4+ points that were leading by 17 plus at any point in the game have been 66 1-1 ATS since 2019.
unless the ATS guys bet on him and then it loses.
So they were up 17-0 in the second quarter, did not score a point in the second half. Just the fact I've never seen anything like. Still can't believe they didn't cover the game. But again, week one, we'll take it and move on. We were on the right side, in my opinion. If you had -4 out there, I mean, congratulations. I don't know what to tell you. That's the best one you're gonna have in your entire life.
Yeah.
And then we had Rams +4. The line actually went up to 5.5 by game time. We thought we won this bet. It was 20 to
I went to
what was
sleep.
it? 20-17. Stafford. There's a late third down right before the 2 minute warning, and he comes up at the pocket, Cubs wide open right here, and he just couldn't get the ball to him. If that third down's converted, we win that bet.
I went to
Anyways,
sleep. I
Lions
thought it
went
was
down.
over. I went to sleep
Yeah, the Lions
right,
go kick the field
literally right
goal.
before that possession, before that third down, like that. I think it was the
Yep.
first down. I was like, these guys got it. I'm going to
Yep.
sleep. I
The
should have stayed
only
awake.
thing we could not happen going to overtime is the Lions win the coin toss. Okay. If they score a touchdown, we lose the bet, obviously. But if they kick the field goal, then we would win 100%. They go down and run the
David
crap out of
Montgomery,
football.
man, is so good.
I mean, it was gaping hole after gaping hole, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is over.
You think that's the best offensive line in the league?
I mean, they showed it. They didn't show it all game until overtime, and then when overtime hit, it was like, where was this all
I
game?
want to see them play a good D line though. I think that would be a very good game. Just
But
them against any good D line.
I think Stafford played. I mean, just played really really well. I still
Unreal.
think we just got unlucky with that overtime stuff, and it is what it is. So last week not good, 3-6, -5.81 units. And like I said, we'll move on and learn from it, and here we go into week two.
Hmm.
Um, so let's get rolling week two, Cole.
Yep, yep.
Start with Thursday night.
And let's try to get sharp this week. What do we say, Troy? Let's try to get sharp.
Buddy, we were sharp last week. We just went over some of those
Yeah,
losses.
for sure.
Still can't believe, um, one player for the Steelers can take over a game like that. They
Also,
kicked 6 field goals. They
if
didn't
I
score.
if I would have known that the Giants were going to wear those jerseys, I would have never put any money on that team. Those
That is very true as
those
well.
jerseys. As soon as I saw them, I go, take my money. I lost that one.
Yeah, bad.
I was like, I lost. The game hasn't even started yet, and I already lost this bet. But
Shout out to the fans that waited till Daniel Jones came out of that locker room to heckle him because that's how bad he was.
But yeah, let's hop into this. Let's hop into this week's games. Let me get them pulled up here. Adam, something else pulled up. There we go. All right, so Bills Dolphins Thursday night football. Bills are traveling to Miami. I believe Miami is sitting at a -2.5 favorite right now.
Yeah.
Total is 48.5. I don't really have much on this game. I think the Bills last week got away with a win for sure. I think everyone knows that Arizona was controlling that game the entire first half. Josh Allen turned into Superman, and went crazy. If I had to lean any way, it'd probably be the Dolphins at the house, divisional game. So this one's going to be really hard. And anytime the Bills and Dolphins play each other, it's gonna be a good game. So I would have to lean Dolphins -2.5. I think all the stuff that's happened with the Dolphins last week, back-to-back games at home is huge. No traveling in the past 2 weeks, and then also I would probably, if I had to take one of these bets in this game, that would probably be the over 48.5. But I'm gonna stay away from all of it. But I think that over 48.5 could definitely hit. I think that's probably the best bet in this game. You got anything on this one, Troy?
Yeah, no. So open up at 1. A lot of money came in on the Dolphins. I'm with you though. I don't want to take the 2.5. I think if anything, gun to my head, we're going to take the over 48.5. Just too many unknowns too with the Dolphins at the running back situation. If A-Chain doesn't play, obviously Mostert's already out, so we're going to go to Jeff Wilson or I think what's his name, Jalen Wright. So don't really trust the running game if A-Chain's not playing in Miami. But the Bills' defense is awful.
Bills' secondary is awful.
So and if Tyreek Hill out of the game and Waddle, then I could see that game getting out of hand. But also, we saw what happened last week when the Bills got down early. They obviously came back. Josh Allen's a beast, so I think the over is a play. If anything, gun to my head. But
yeah, for sure, I agree.
That would be it for me.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hop into this next game. We got the Steelers going to Denver. We got Pittsburgh -2.5 with a total of 36.5. Man, this is going to be an ugly freaking game. I almost said it, but nope. Was it past 5 minutes? Yeah, it's going to be an ugly fucking game. Steelers at the Broncos. I think it's going to be a just horrendous game. I mean, I almost want to say take the under of 36.5. That's the only way I could look at this game. Definitely not laying points with the Steelers on the road. That's for sure, especially after watching them last week in that offense. That offense is not good. Atlanta should have won that game if it wasn't for TJ Watt. He's just an absolute freak. Honestly, if I was to look at this, I would the only bet on this game I would take is TJ Watt over 1.5 sacks. It's the only thing I could look at. It's the only thing I would touch, honestly.
So we're jumping to the 425 slot here, I guess. But yeah, Steelers Broncos.
Oh, that's my bad. Yeah.
I know it's your favorite team on there. It's all good. We'll go with it. Steelers Broncos right there with the ugly game. I would lean the Broncos at home. The offense for the Steelers is obviously not good at all. So, but again, they could go kick 6 field goals and win if that defense shows up and Watt's out there just being an animal. So, nothing here for me. It's going to be an ugly game. Don't want to really watch it. And I mean, shit. Yeah, we'll take Watt doing anything over sacks, over
interception, touchdown,
sack, whatever you want to do it. So let's go ahead and move from this ugly game.
Let's go ahead and let's hop into the 1:00 games. Raiders versus Ravens. Raiders are traveling to Baltimore. Baltimore is -9 with a total of 41.5. Couldn't lay the 9. Couldn't take the Raiders.
No.
The total. I mean, I would look at the total, but I could see this game being like a 32-10 Ravens or something. So I don't want to look at or not even that, like 28-10 or something. I don't know. This is a weird one to me. I don't really touch big spreads like this. Nothing on the total intrigues me at all. I mean, this is. If anything, I would maybe look at the under and hope the Raiders and Max Crosby and that defense come out and play really well and focus on stopping Lamar Jackson, because that is one thing. If you stop Lamar Jackson from scrambling and running, he's forced to make awkward throws, hard throws, and that's when you're going to get turnovers and you're going to get him missing Zay Flowers right in the middle of the end zone, wide open to win the bet, and he throws it 40 feet over his head. But anyway, I don't have anything on this game. You got anything on this one, Troy?
No, absolutely not. I'm right there with you. I think 9 points is way too much. If anything, it's a teaser play and something if you like it because the Ravens are going to win this game. So um, that's nothing really for me.
Yeah, and you could look at Ravens -9, I guess, because they could be coming out pissed about that loss last week. But God, 9 is a lot, man. That's just a lot of points.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I think it's a teaser play for sure
yeah,
and something.
yeah,
If you there's a lot of games this week where you're like, okay, that team's going to win, but do we
but by how
trust them
much?
for the points? Maybe I mean, you could have a really solid teaser this week, I think, with some of these
Yeah,
games.
and it's also the NFL. You never know who could win these games, honestly. But
Yep.
let's hop into this next game. Browns are traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. The Jags are -3, another total of 41.5. We have so many 41.5s this week. It is crazy. But yeah, the Jags kind of choked a little bit last game. They would have probably won that game if it wasn't for the fumble into the end zone.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a tough loss. That was a tough loss. So yeah, they kind of lost that one. But I mean, you got to think about this. You have Jacksonville who should have won last week if they didn't fumble in the end zone, and then you have the Browns who probably had the worst week 1 in the entire NFL. These are two teams that are running on lows right now. And honestly, the Browns, like, I think this is the game where you decide, hey, are we going to bench Deshaun Watson, our $200 million quarterback or whatever he is? Like, are we going to bench him? Because this is bad. Like, this is like we went to the playoffs with Joe Flacco last year in this defense, and now Deshaun Watson
yeah.
can't even win a game. So, I think this is a deciding game. If I was gun to my head, I would probably take Browns. I think are some books that have it at 3.5, so I would probably take the Browns plus 3.5. Because this is kind of Deshaun's last chance, I think, to prove that he is a franchise quarterback. But I'm not going to touch anything on this game. But I will enjoy watching this game to see if the Browns do indeed bench him. But what you got on this one, Troy?
Yeah, I know. I would probably agree with you. I would lean the 3.5 with the Browns because of that defense. Now if the prize of winning this game was a free massage at the end, then I'd take the Browns on the money line. Uh, but that's not how the NFL works. So
Oh my god!
we'll pass on this one. I think
Oh
T-Law
god!
honestly looked really good last week throwing the football. He made a pass to Thomas, touchdown pass
That back left corner. Oh god!
that was insane.
Just a nice little
So
layered ball. Just a nice
that
little layered
combo
ball.
that combo right there is going to be dangerous in the
Yeah.
future too. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a coin flip game.
Yeah,
Like I
it's a
said,
coin flip game.
no massages for winning. So
Jesus Christ. Jets at Titans. You got the Jets -4. It's moved up to -4 now.
Yeah.
Total 41.5. I'm gonna keep it short here because I know you got something on this one, Troy. I like if I had to lean anywhere, it'd definitely be the Jets. They played probably the best team in the NFL in my opinion last week.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they kind of showed everyone that last week. Said, hey, you guys think we need McCaffrey? We don't. We're stacked everywhere, and Brock Purdy is indeed the guy. And he will probably have that starting job for a very long time. But
The dude is so good.
anyway, so back to the Jets. They played. I don't think they really played bad last week. The only reason that I'm not going to take the Jets is here's a weird stat for you that kind of freaked me out a little bit about the Jets. Aaron Rodgers threw to the left side of the field the entire game. He did
Saw
not.
that.
He did not throw to the right side of the field, which makes me really worried about his injury and his Achilles and everything. I don't know if it's the throw, like throwing off the back foot a little bit more to the right side, because with the left you're a little bit more on the front. I don't know what it is, but it seems like he's just not wanting to throw to the right side of the field. Did he still look good? Yes. Did I see him get out the pocket and make a play like he used to back in the day, or like not even really back in the day, like 2 or 3 years ago? I didn't see that, and until I see that and kind of see what this Jets team is about, I'm gonna stay away from it. But heavy lean to Jets -3.5 after watching Will Levis last week. That was embarrassing, and I don't know if you're the Titans, how do you come back from a loss like that? Like, you just lost 24-17, and they didn't score a touchdown with the offense. Like, how do you come back from that? Like, that's That would be weighing heavy on my shoulders for a couple weeks if I'm Will Levis. So yeah, huge lean to the Jets, minus the 3.5 or minus the 4. I like both numbers honestly.
Yeah, we snagged it at 3.5 this morning. It's at 4 now. I'd take it at 4 as well. But yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a play for ATS this week. We'll take the Jets all day. Might be a little chalky, but after watching the Titans last week, defensively they look fine,
Mm-hmm.
but
Defense looked
offensively
great.
it was a an absolute shit show. Will Levis questionable things, and the defensive line for the Jets, they're really good at a pass rush. So if they can get up pretty early, I can see those guys getting after the quarterback. And Will Levis, obviously under pressure, did not do good last week against a
Mm-mm.
Bears team that I don't think's going to be a playoff team. So we'll take the Jets 3.5. We have it at 3.5. I like it at 4 as well. And then to your comment about A-Rod's last week on the left side, for a right-handed quarterback, it's actually a lot easier to throw to the right side of the field. So for him to, I think Garrett Wilson also lined up on the left the majority of the time, which is why you saw a lot of those balls to
Right.
the left. So I don't think we can look, I don't think look too much into that. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. And then I heard what you said about the scrambling, and I heard him in an interview this week. I think it was on the McAfee show. He said, each week he's gonna feel a lot better to do those kinds of things he used to do in the past, where he made a living off script on the
Rolling
run.
out.
Dude, he's just so good at it. So
Yeah.
if we can get a little bit of that each week, we're gonna see A-Rod's going to tear,
Yeah.
and
And he's never
hopefully
been fast. You know what I mean? Like,
he's just an athlete. He's an athlete.
exactly. He just
Yeah,
gets out the pocket and he just makes
yeah.
a play. So
I mean, it reminds me of well, who's a young guy that can. He's not like. I
Brock
mean,
Purdy.
Mahomes in the fastest
Yeah,
guy. He
Mahomes.
does that all the time, right? So
Yeah.
I guess you kind of compare it to that, but
Brock Purdy
it's
does it too. He's not fast, but you'll see him roll out and get that thing out there.
yeah,
It's those
it's
baseball
pretty,
guys, man. It's any of those
yeah.
guys that grew up playing baseball. They're real comfortable just kind of rolling out that little on the run throw from shortstop. But yeah, I like Jets a lot. I'm definitely gonna ride that with you. And I know it's gonna be an ATS pick this week. And I know that this next game I have a pick on this one, which I'm probably gonna get
Oh,
roasted in the comments for.
no, I
Um,
don't think so.
but I
I'll take it.
absolutely love it.
So 49ers at the Vikings. We talked about earlier how Sam Darnold looked incredible. He's going against his former team in the 49ers and Shanahan.
Hmm.
I liked what I saw from the Vikings last week.
Hmm.
I thought that Sam Darnold was the timing that he had last week was really incredible. If you go back and watch a lot of his throws, it was, 1, 2, 3 hitch, balls out, or 1, 2, 3 hitch, balls out. Like he was really good at the timing with his receivers last week and getting the ball out on time, off the breaks. In NFL, that's what you got to do. It's in college football where you can kind of sit back there and be Caleb Williams like he thought he was last week against the Titans because he looked awful. But we'll stay on the Sam Darnold thing. He looked really good. If I had to lean away, the lines already came down from 6.5 to 5.5, so we liked it at 6.5. I think I would lean the Vikings here at home. Not saying they're going to win, but I liked what I saw from them last week.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. One of my plays this week is gonna be the Vikings plus that 6.5. I know it's come down to 5.5. Don't hate it there either. Honestly, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit. This is gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on the money line. That's not gonna be an ATS pick, but that's gonna be a personal pick of mine. I'm gonna sprinkle, a little 50 or something on the money line. The biggest thing too that people aren't talking about is the 49ers on the road. And also coming off a great performance at home, you now have to go on the road and play Minnesota Vikings against Sam Darnold, who the Vikings defense looked amazing last week. They played great. And then also you have to look at Sam Darnold knows this defense. I mean, who do you think was taking snaps at practice against first team defense? It was Sam Darnold. So I mean, I think that this has just gotten, you know, Vikings written all over it because people are going to see this number and they're going to go, oh, minus 5.5 against the Vikings and their second string quarterback and Sam Darnold. So I think the public is going to be all over the 49ers and minus 5.5. I think Vegas even, drop that number a little bit because they want more people to get on San Francisco. So they went from that 6.5 number to that 5.5. Everyone's going to go, oh, perfect. I wanted to take this game anyway. They're going to take the 49ers. All of the money's going to be on the Vikings. All of the bet's going to be on the 49ers. And that is a perfect spot where we want to be, where the money is. So give me the Vikings plus 6.5. Love that play. Love it, love it, love it. Let's hop into this next game, though. Chargers at the Panthers. Chargers -6 with a total of 39.5. Man, oh man, oh man. -6 is a weird number. And if it was at 6.5, it would be a little bit different. I would think about taking the Panthers, but they looked terrible, man. I mean, they looked awful. So, but it's between the Panthers and the Browns, who had the worst Week 1 performance. And honestly, I may have to give the cake to the Panthers. They looked awful.
I mean, it was definitely the Panthers. They played the Saints.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that is true. That is true. They played the Saints and got blown out. At least the Browns played the Cowboys. But yeah, the only thing I could look at is maybe the under in this game, under the 39.5.
Yeah.
Harbaugh loves to run the ball. We saw that last week. The Chargers' run game looked the best it's had in 2 or 3 years, probably.
JK, he looked good.
Yeah, so I think they're going to run the ball. So the Chargers are going to run the ball, run the clock out. The Panthers will not score points. We saw that. So, I mean, as long as the Chargers don't score more than, I think, 30 points, this under hits. So,
yeah, this is your typical trap game, Cole. The Panthers got blown out by a bad Saints team last week. Everybody in the world is going to be taking the Chargers,
which makes me want to take the Panthers.
So I'm going to be. I mean, you see this in the NFL every year, where a bad team gets blown out. They come back the next week and they upset a team that you don't they're at home as well. Yeah, that's a big thing. So if this game was in LA, it's telling me it's going to be a 9-point spread. I would lean to the Panthers and I'd lean to the under, but it's a game where I think it's just a trap game. We're obviously not going to take it, but gun to our heads, we're going to be leaning Panthers in the under. I think so.
Yeah, and we got to stay unbiased too. We can't factor in too much of Week 1 and say, hey,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we just gotta kind of keep our heads screwed on. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the public's gonna be all over the Chargers, which is, like you said, a perfect trap game for Vegas. Let's go to this next game. I know you like this one. Seahawks at Patriots. 1 o'clock game. Seahawks are -3.5. Total is 38.5. I heavy lean towards the Seahawks, but gosh, dude, that Patriots defense looks so good. I don't know if it's Mayo being the head coach or what, but like that defense looked unreal, man. And the Seahawks offense looked bad, but yeah, I mean, I think you have to lean the Seahawks here. The Patriots shocked the world in Week 1. They're like running on such highs right now. They don't even care if they win a game of the rest of the season because they were only projected, I think, 3 or 4 wins anyway. And they just got one against the Bengals in Week 1. So only way I could look would be the Seahawks. I honestly like that pick just because the Patriots are, like we said, you can't overreact to the Week 1. You can't sit here and say, oh, the Patriots won Week 1. They're a decent football team. They're really not. They're pretty bad. Besides that defense, that offense is horrible. The defense played really good Week 1, but I honestly don't think they're that great either. So we'll see if the Patriots have a legit defense. But honestly, I think the Seahawks come out here and dice them up. So if I had to take a pick here, it'd probably be the Seahawks minus the 3.5.
Yeah, no, we're going to be taking the Seahawks minus 3.5. The Patriots roster, that's a bad football team. Obviously they have a couple of good pieces at the corner position and in the secondary, but that's not a good football team. Let's be real. They played a Bengals team where Jamar Chase laced it up after not participating in practices and a bunch of training camp stuff. He was barely in the building all year leading up to the season because of the contract stuff. He still doesn't have a contract. T. Higgins was out last week. The Bengals also lost Joe Mixon to the Texans, so the running game was not there. Joe Burrow is coming off that wrist injury, so you saw in that game he did not push the ball down the field whatsoever. They had a crazy thing happen at the end of that game, or in the middle of that game, where the tight end was going for the touchdown and the ball gets punched out at the goal line, kind of like ETN in that Jacksonville game. So I think a lot of things had to go right for the Patriots to win that game. Um, and they did, and they won the game, but they're not the better team in this situation. I think the Seahawks blow the Patriots out here, even it being in Boston. So we'll take the Seahawks minus 3.5, and we'll ride with it.
Love it. Love it. Let's get into this next game. What I think is going to be another blowout game. Saints at the Cowboys. Cowboys -6, total of 46.5. And yeah, I honestly, I think the Cowboys are going to blow out the Saints at home. We know what the Cowboys do at home. They show up and play. They're coming off a great, nice and easy Week 1 performance. Didn't have to stress the body too much. Just went out there and just no pun intended, just waxed Deshaun Watson's ass. So, I mean, I if I had to look anywhere here, it's got to be the Cowboys at home. But the Saints looked pretty damn good last week, and that offense looked electric. So, who knows? Maybe Derek Carr has returned. You know, the Derek Carr that's actually a decent NFL quarterback may be back. So I'm not going to touch this game, but man, do I want to take Dallas -6 so bad. But I'm going to stay away from it because that's a dirty, dirty number. So I'm going to stay away from it. But if that was 5.5 or 5, I'd be all over it for the Cowboys. But that 6 number just kind of scares me a little bit. And the Saints like to come and play. And they looked really good Week 1.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The Saints played a bad Panthers team last week, and the Cowboys. I mean, that defense for the Browns is really, really good, and they put on a show offensively. So
Dak in the regular season, man.
I don't see this. I don't see how the Saints keep this game close. I think it's Dallas -6. Now we haven't agreed on it, so that's why we haven't made it a play. But I like Dallas -6.
Yeah, we honestly may add that one.
And we might add it. We'll see how the number kind of fluctuates up to Sunday, but I don't see the Saints making this close after scoring that many points last week. That's just not going to happen against Micah Parsons and the guys with the Cowboys. So if I just can't see a world where the Saints coming. If you don't want the 6, like I said, we have some games this week where you can throw it in a teaser, like we talked about with Baltimore earlier and et cetera. So I think the Cowboys win this game outright, obviously, and I think they cover the 6 by a lot. But we'll see how the week goes. We might add this.
And with that being said, make sure that you guys go to the link in our bio. Click on that link, go to the Discord, join that Discord channel. All of our plays get posted in there. A lot of stuff gets added before the game day. Like, for instance, we didn't talk about the Ladd McConkey pick last week, but we added it. So if you want those added plays, go to the Discord link, accept that Discord invite, and it'll take you right to our channel with all our plays on it.
Yeah. And Cole, to piggyback off of that, we do college football as well. We throw it in there. We went 3-1 last week in college, so overall we had a solid week, just NFL.
And also the college show that we do, that is more a college show, not a betting show. So you will see their picks are not in there because those are not ATS's picks. Those are just our college show guys' picks. So keep that in mind because I had someone comment that last week. But yeah, let's hop into this next game though. Probably the ugliest game of the week. It's going to be Giants traveling to the Commanders. Washington is -1.5 with a total of 43.5. Only way I could probably look here is Commanders -1.5 maybe. Just because it's a home game, but like I'm not touching that with a rookie quarterback in week 2. But Jaden Daniels did look pretty good week 1. Didn't look great, but looked good. Showed some promising promising
Colm,
stuff.
I'll say the quarterback play last week was pretty bad. It might have been the worst quarterback play I've seen in recent memory.
What, talking about the Commanders or the Giants?
No, I'm talking about in the entire NFL.
Yeah, dude. Only one person threw for 300 yards or more, and only 2, I believe, threw for over 250. I think
Baker looked good. Purdy looked good.
Josh
Allen looked okay. Murray looked okay, but a lot of people,
Kirk looked awful.
Even Mahomes didn't have a good game. Lamar didn't look good. He might have looked good running the football, but passing he was awful. Stafford was really. I think he was the best one.
Yeah.
In week 1, but overall it was a really bad quarterback play. So this game is screaming bad quarterback play. I think Jaden's going to be really good, but this is week 2. The Giants have a good defense. I think they have solid players on that defense. Like I said, Sam Darnold was a different guy last week, so I don't. I think it's an ugly game. If anything, I'm going to lean towards the under, but I don't even trust that. Like you never know with two bad teams what can happen. Like you
Also,
saw
two
with
bad
the
defenses.
Saints. Yeah,
Besides,
exactly,
New York's got a
exactly.
good D line, but that's about it, and it's
That's about it.
decent.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So this is a hard pass for us.
Yeah. This is just there's so many factors that I can't even. There's so many bad factors that I can't even narrow it down to one side.
Yeah. So
Um,
we'll move. What we going to do? So the Buccaneers at the
mhm.
Lions. Um, so it's at Detroit minus 7.5 right now. Listen, the Bucks played a really bad defense last week. The Lions are not a bad defense. They have some studs all over the place. They got about three or four dudes that are at like Pro Bowlers.
This is moved to -7.5 though.
Yeah, I liked it early in the week when it was like six or whatever it was.
Six and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still like it now. I don't think the Bucks come close in this game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch it because I don't like taking big numbers like that usually. So but if I had to lean away, it would definitely be on the Lions. I think they're the way better team. They actually have a defense. Baker coming off that big performance last week, it's not going to be the same against this team. So
I agree.
um,
I agree.
I would lean Detroit, but 7.5, a lot of points.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Bucks to plus the 7.5 just because it's so many points, but I'm not going to take it either. Honestly, gun to my head, if I had to pick something in this game, it'd probably be the over 51.5.
Yeah, I like the under if I had to pick one of
Really,
those.
really, I just think that both these offenses are just like if Baker plays like he did last week and Jared plays like he did last week, I think that this game goes over. But the key word is if Baker plays like he played last week. So,
Well, we
um,
disagree on both sides of it, so that's why we're going to move
yeah,
on and go to
yeah.
the next game, which is going to be the Colts at the Packers. Colts are minus 2.5 on the road. Can you remember a time where the Colts were favored on the road in Green Bay? Because it's got to be a long time, but obviously there's a
Yeah,
reason why Jordan Love's not playing.
probably been since Manning.
Um, Malik Willis is your even with Manning. I mean, he was going against Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, so I don't think
That's
even
true.
with Manning it was there. But Malik Willis is your starter in Green Bay. Um, I mean, he's not good. We saw him with the Titans. I don't. If anything, I'm probably leaning the under here because the Packers defense I think is pretty solid. They have a bunch of guys on that team um, that can get in AR's head. AR still he has incredible arm talent and makes some crazy
God,
plays, but he also misses a ton of throws as you saw last week with
he reminds me
I
of
think
like a
80.
shittier Cam Newton.
Yeah, I think with AD Mitchell, he missed like three balls to him that could have been touchdowns. It was kind of like Lamar last week where he just missed a ton of throws, but he doesn't get through his progressions really good enough. He'll make your highlight play, but I think that's why this line's still only 2.5 with Malik
Yeah,
Willis at the helm. So if I had to lean away, I wouldn't touch the side. I'd probably go under the points. But again, we don't know what the hell we're going to see from Malik. Like it's an unknown thing, and I don't like betting on unknowns. So
yeah.
for me personally, I don't think you have anything either. We'll pass on
Yeah,
this.
yeah. No, I don't have anything either. If I had to pick something, it'd probably be Indy, minus the 2.5, just because I think with Malik Willis at quarterback, I don't think the Packers are going to be able to score many points, especially with a really young receiving core. I mean, it's you don't have like a veteran guy out there to kind of lead him through the game. So if I had to lead anywhere, it'd be Colts minus 2.5. But I'm not taking anybody going into that stadium on the road, especially the Colts, giving points. So I'm gonna stay away
Right.
from this one. But
Yeah.
let's hop into this next
So
game.
I know you have something here.
Hmm.
Rams at the Cardinals. It's Arizona -1 right now at home against the Rams, who are a little beat up after last week. They lost two offensive linemen. They lost Puka Nakua.
Hmm.
Um, it's hard for me to be involved with this game because I have a special place in my heart for the Rams. Um, so Christian, me and him disagree on it, but again, I'm emotional with this Rams team. So we're gonna let him just take the floor here and tell you his reasons on why he's gonna be taking the card.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be taking
Let
the
him go.
Cardinals. I'm gonna be taking the Cardinals -1. I think I actually might have got it at -1.5. Not gonna lie. Anyway,
Uh-oh.
so yeah, that kind of sucks. But anyway, minus 1.5. Still like it. I think the Cardinals played really good last week. They should have won that game against the Bills. Kyler looked really good, and also like it's one of those things where, like we talked about earlier, everyone's gonna see this line and go, "Oh my God, the Rams are minus or +1 against the Cardinals," and it's literally the line is only +1 for the Rams, just so people can go, "Oh, I'm getting a point with the Rams," and then the public. I think the public right now is 70% on the Rams right now. And all of the money is on the Cardinals. And like we said earlier, anytime we see that, we want to be where the money is, not where the bets are. We want to be with the Vegas, not betting against Vegas, because Vegas always wins. So I'm going to take Arizona -1. Marvin Harrison had a bad game last week. He only had one catch. I think this is kind of his coming out party. This game is at Arizona, so this is at home. All the fans are stressing about Marvin Harrison getting one catch. I think they're going to get it to him early. I think Marvin Harrison is going to have a really big game. And honestly, I think the Cardinals win this game pretty easily. The Cardinals defense looked really good last week too against Josh Allen, or the first half of Josh Allen. The second half, he just kind of diced him up. But yeah, man, I mean, the way that you beat Matt Stafford is you got to get pressure on him. So if they can get pressure on him and not allow him to get the ball to his weapons and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua.
Puka's out.
Puka's out? Okay,
Yeah.
so no Puka, even better. I thought he was questionable. He's out
No,
now?
he's out. He's out for 4 weeks.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, yeah, I like that pick even more. Arizona -1. I like that pick even more. It does worry me a little bit that Puka's out and the line moved the opposite direction. But
Well, I don't think he's not that big of a difference when it comes to a spread line, in my opinion. Like we saw
I
him.
don't know.
Well, think about this. McCaffrey didn't play last week for the 49ers, and he was a half a point difference. Like people like that, I don't think it's gonna. The receivers there with the Rams are good enough.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, when he went out the game last
It's not
week,
like they don't have any receivers.
Yeah,
They
so
still got
he's
cut.
not like a left tackle or a quarterback coming out like where the number changes big time for the.
So yeah, but that honestly kind of makes my point even better. So slow down Cooper Kupp, and I think you win this game. Don't allow Kupp to get the ball. Get pressure on Matt Stafford. And I think Arizona wins this game with ease at home. And I think they're going to be a little pissed off about last week because they should have won that game and they didn't. Now they got to come back to the house. And
I mean, both teams should have won.
Yeah, I mean, both teams should have won. That's very true. But yeah, I just think I think the Cardinals got a little bit more to prove. So I love the Cardinals this week. But yeah, so give me the Cardinals -1.5. And let's hop into this next game. I know Troy likes something on this one. Bengals at Chiefs. Chiefs are -5.5 with a total of 48.5. I don't really have much on this game. I would love to take the Bengals plus the 5.5. I'm probably going to because Troy is, but it scares the living shit out of me betting on Mahomes. I've bet against this motherfucker so many times and lost so many times. I'm so tired of betting against this guy. I was literally thinking about it after the Ravens game because it wasn't a play, but I just threw some money on it because I was watching the game, and like, God, I hate betting against this motherfucker. I swear, every time I put money on him, it's like he's just a different animal, man, and I'm tired of watching him take my money, so I don't have a pick on this game, but I know Troy does. Give us your reason.
I'll say this, man. When you bet against the Chiefs, you're not just betting against the Chiefs, you're betting against the Chiefs and the referees.
Yeah. It's another thing.
But I will say this. Mahomes covering the spread of 3 or less, really, really good. ATS. Mahomes covering a spread 3.5 above, under 500. ATS. So you look at this game. Joe Burrow loves playing in Arrowhead. He loves the competition in Arrowhead. That is Burrowhead. I believe he's lost one time to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs over his career. So I'll say this: we're going to take the Bengals plus 5.5. Not saying they're going to win, but that game's going to be close. Mahomes might find a way at the end to kick a field goal with Harrison Big Dick Bucker, and they'll win the game by 3. But I like the Bengals plus 5.5. But if we don't get T. Higgins or Jamar, like if they both don't play, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, we will be hedging our bet and getting out of this game because then I don't trust it. So it's really going to be dependent on those two guys. If both of them play, then I'm feeling really good about it.
Same.
So we'll keep an eye on that. But at this time, we're going to be taking the Bengals plus 5.5. This is your typical bounce back spot for a really good football team, really good quarterback in Joe Burrow, and he loves playing against the Chiefs. So we'll keep an eye. If the receivers don't play, we're getting out of it. So for
Yeah.
right now, we like the Bengals -5.5, and I'm sorry, +5.5, and we'll keep an eye on the receivers. So
Love it.
moving on, we got two games left: Sunday night football, Monday night football. Sunday night, the Bears at the Texans. When's the last time we saw the Bears on Sunday night football?
Yeah.
Don't remember. But I mean, the Texans are the better football team here. Caleb looked really bad last week. Like I said, they didn't score an offensive touchdown, and somehow we didn't cover that Titans game. Um, he looked bad. He looked not in rhythm with his receivers. The timing was just off all day. Texans have a solid defense. They have some solid defensive backs, and then they also have C.J. Stroud back there throwing to his weapons. And the running game is a lot better now with Mixon in the backfield. So
Oh my
I
God.
don't
Yeah.
like. I think 6.5 is a lot. So I'm going to be not doing much on this game. I think the under is probably the play here, but again, just you haven't seen enough from the Bears offensively to give you anything. So hard pass for me on this game. I'll enjoy it at 8:20 on Sunday night.
I like that. Yeah, I'm the same way here. I think I'm gonna. I don't have a side on this one. I don't have a total. I have no earthly idea what's gonna happen in this game. I could very well see the Bears win this game, because Caleb Williams played so bad last week that like, I mean, dude, if Caleb Williams played good, they beat the Titans 42-17. Like, that'd be the easiest win all year. So I mean, I'm gonna kick my feet up. I might put in like a little prize picks or something on this game, but I'm not gonna put any plays. I do like Caleb Williams to throw a passing touchdown or two this game. I will say, I do think that he gets his. The only right way for the Bears to get their first offensive touchdown of the season is for Caleb Williams to do it. So I really like Caleb Williams to throw a passing touchdown. I would maybe look at his over yards, because his yards are probably going to be very, very low after last week's performance. So maybe like some player props, but that's really the only thing I could get out of this game. I just want to sit back and enjoy this game. So yeah, nothing on this one. But let's hop into this next game that I absolutely love. You got the Dirty Birds traveling to the regular Birds. Falcons versus Eagles at Philly. This is an old school kind of rivalry here. The Eagles and the Falcons always have like a little. There's always a little rivalry in the air. It's not an actual rivalry, but between the fandom, it is a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna take Falcons +6.5. Am I gonna regret it? Probably. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm taking Falcons +6.5. Monday Night Football. Kirk does not usually play well in prime time, but this is a new team. So hear me out. But after last week, just watching what the Steelers did to Kirk was like, it sucked. But also at the same time, like, this man played possibly one of the best defenses in the league week one. So you got to take that week one performance with a little grain of salt. Because I do believe that the Pittsburgh defense is top 3 defense in the league, especially with TJ Watt. I mean, if you watch that game, like, he disrupted that game almost every single play. If he was on the field, he was disrupting something, whether it be covering Kirk's check down, getting to Kirk, picking up a fumble, almost picking it off like twice. Like, he's just an animal, dude. So, yeah, I don't think that the Eagles are going to come out and, you know, put a ton of pressure on Kirk like the Steelers did. Or, I mean, the Steelers were just blitzing. It was just a blitz every single play, get in Kirk's face, make him uncomfortable. And now if Philly takes what the Steelers did and apply it to this game, which I don't think they're going to, they're going to play their own style of defense, which is they're going to trust their DBs and their linebackers, and they're going to sit back in their zones, and they're going to basically not want Bijan to beat them. They're going to stack the box and run a zone defense, I think, is what they're going to do, because that's usually what the Eagles do against a good running back. So if they do that, I think Kirk's going to have a field day. I think Kirk could have a really big game. I could see him throwing for over 250 this game. So yeah, give me the Falcons. Absolutely love the Falcons. +6.5 is a great number as well. and that's a really talented team to be given 6.5 points. So I'll take the talented team with 6.5 points. You got anything on this one, Troy? And then we'll get out of here.
No, I trust you on it. I like the 6.5 as well. I think the Eagles are going to win the game, but 6.5 is a lot of points, so I will lean that way with you. That'll be a ATS play,
Mm-hmm.
and Monday night should be a good one. The only thing that scares me is the defensive line for the Eagles is probably just as good. It's probably better than the
But
Steelers.
they don't have the edge guys. They don't have the edge guys. That's what worries
But
me.
we'll see what happens. But I like the 6.5 number, so I'm riding with you.
Perfect, man. Awesome. Well, y'all enjoy the Thursday night games. We will see y'all back here. Same. We did this on Thursday this week. It's usually going to be on Wednesday. So keep an eye out on that. We'll be doing Wednesday, usually around 7:30. But yeah, guys. See you guys next week.